Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? We are now live and we are ready to do some maths. Um, Write your name if you're here, so I can give you a quick shout out. I can see Starhill's here. I can see Hermione's here. I can see Ella is here. Dowd's here. Abu's here. I think I saw Sophia before. Amani. I don't know who that person is. I think it's Easter. So, hello everybody, and I hope you're all doing amazingly well because we've now been in lockdown for quite some time, and it's quite difficult to stay motivated. But what's been really great to see is how much work you've been sending via Class Dojo, um, and how much work you've been actually doing at home. I know because I've been at home too, how difficult it is to get up and go, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to do this, and this today, and I'm going to try and do as much as I possibly can. And I'm going to do some exercise, and I'm going to run and do jumping up and down on the spot because Joe Witts has told me to, or I'm going to go for a walk with my family. I know how difficult that is. And equally, I know how difficult it is to be in and around people so much. People that you wouldn't spend 24 hours a day with, and how that can sometimes be a bit fractious. So I'm amazed that you've all come online, and morning Parisa, that you've come online and you are all here, and we're going to do another maths lesson together, and we'll see where we go. Um, we're going to try over the next few weeks to do a little bit of algebra. Now I know algebra is fairly difficult, but what I want to happen is for you to be able to. I don't expect you all to be algebra geniuses by the end of this. I expect you just to be able to do stuff and not fall back or anything else, okay? But today we're going to work on something that we worked on the last session. So if you think about the last session we did, we were converting fractions to decimals using base 10. Morning Tegan, morning Arvin. Um, we were using base 10. Now base 10 was all numbers that would be multiples of 10. So it was easy to do. It was 5 and 10 and 50, etc. Today we're going to convert some fractions to decimals, but we're going to do it using division. So I'm going to take you through a little bit of it. Okay. But before I do, I want you to have a little practice of something that we've already learned before. So before we learned how to divide fractions. So I want you to try these calculations and see if you can give me the answer. Give me the answer in the box below. So I'm going to move on to the lesson. Okay. Right, we're going to convert some fractions to decimals. You can see there's a fraction here which is 4/5. Now, some of you may be able to do this straight away. But what I want to know is, what does the bar, and this is something we've already done, what does the bar in the middle of a fraction tell us? What does the bar in the middle of a fraction? Well done, Abu. Well done, Hermione. Well done, Parisa. Well done, Arvin. Well done, Ella. Well done, Amani. Well done, Noreen. I think that is your sweaty rice, Noreen. Yeah, it tells us divide. So this bar in the middle simply tells us how to divide. Okay, so actually, when we rewrite this fraction, it actually means 4 divided by 5. Now, let's think about this as though it was a piece of pie. Okay, if I had 4 slices of pie, but had 5 friends that I was dividing it by, what would each of those people have? They would have less than 1 piece of pie, which means they would have a fraction of a pie. Okay? So the reason that it's 4 divided by 5 is because they're actually just getting a fraction of the amount. So let's do this as though we were going to do that division. Now, 4 divided by 5, we can do by using the bus stop method. So we're going to do our bus stop, and we're going to put our 4, because that's our whole pie, and divided by 5 on the outside. Now, so far, this looks very difficult. But we can do the first bit. 5 does not go into 4, so it gives us 0. Then, this is the bit with dividing fractions, is actually 4, the number 4, or any whole number, is 4 point something, 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 something. What's that something? 4 point what? In this case, what is 4? 4 point what? Well done, Parisa. Yeah, it's 4.0. Actually, it's actually 4.000000000 and absolutely infinite zeros. And they're all invisible, so we don't see them usually. But in this case, we can put our 0 in. So we've got 5 divided by 4.000. Now, we might not use all of those zeros, but in this case, we're going to give it a go. So we've now got 5 into 4 doesn't go, so we put our 0. We place our decimal points so they are in line with each other. And then we cross out our 4 and we move the 4 across. So we've now got 5 into 40. Well, 5 into 40 goes 8 times and it leaves no remainders. So we now have 5 into 40 is 8. So 4/5 as a decimal becomes 0.8. So let's just review the steps there. So the first bit was, we're looking at dividing, so we know that the bar in the middle is division. So we rewrite the calculation, and we do 4 divided by 5. After we've done that, we place them into the bus stop. We put our 4 in the bus stop and our 5 on the outside. And we see how many times 5 goes into 4. Well, 5 didn't go into 4 at all, so we put 0. Now, the next step is the most important step, because if you were in a test, you wouldn't get this right if you didn't do this. And we need to put our decimal points in. Now, you notice I put our decimal points in the bus stop and in our quotient at the top. Okay? Once we've done that, we complete this as a normal division, a short division question. And we carry over the 4 to become 40. And we see how many times 5 goes into 40. And that gives us 8 and no remainder. Okay? I'm going to do another one. What would this, who can tell me in the comment section, what would this be if I was rewriting this calculation, this fraction as a calculation? What would this be? What would this be? If I was rewriting this calculation, what would it be? Well done, Dowd. It would be 2 divided by 8. So I'm going to rewrite the calculation. 2 divided by 8. Well done, Noreen. And then I'm going to put it in a bus stop. So my 2 goes in the bus stop and my 8 goes outside of the bus stop. What's the first digit of this going to be? If I'm dividing 2 by 8, what's my first digit going to be in the quotient? And the quotient is the bar at the top, above the bar at the top. What's my first digit going to be? How many times does 8 go into 2? Yep, well done, Parisa, well done, Dowd. It doesn't go into 2 at all. It's not possible. Okay, so I've now got 0. What's the next step going to be? Charlie, what's the next step going to be? What's the next step? I said it was the most important step. Morning, Lorenzo. Morning, Jagir. Well done, Hermione. I've got to put my decimal points in. Now, it's important that I place my decimal points, well done, Chedza, above each other. So my decimal point goes in the quotient, which is the bar above, and it also goes in the bus stop itself. And they're lined up. Okay. So now I've got 8 into 2 is 0. I've got my decimal points, and now I need to make sure I put my zeros in. Now in this case, I'm just going to use 2, but you can use 1 or 2 or 3. What you're aiming for is there to be no remainder. So once I've done that, I do 8 and I move my 2 across. So cross my 2 out just like normal. And 8 goes into 20. 8, 16, ooh, 24, that's too much. So it goes in twice. And 2 times 8 is 16, which leaves me 4 left over. Okay, so I'll carry over my 4. And now I've got 8 into 40. Well, 8, 16, 24. What's the next one? Who's going to tell me the next one? Who's going to tell me the next one? Well done, Lorenzo. 32 and 40. So 8 goes into 40 5 times. So I can put my 5 in. So 8 into 40 goes 5 times. So I know that 2 8s as a decimal using division is 0.25. So I can see quite a lot of you there in the comment section are really able to get this, and it's really good that you're working hard to work it out. We'll do one last one. Now this one looks like it's a bit more tricky, but if we do it exactly the same way, it's not tricky at all. Because actually, if I rewrite this fraction as a division calculation, it's going to look like what? What's it going to look like? If I write this fraction as a division calculation, what's it going to look like? Well done, Down. It's going to be 3 divided by 2. Well done, Chedza. Well done, Arvin. Well done, Noreen. Well done, Sahil. Well done, Zuleika and Hermione. It's going to be 3 divided by 2. Okay. My 3 is going to go in my bus stop. And my 12 is going to go on the outside of my bus stop. Okay. So now I'm going to just do it as I would do a normal short division calculation. So I'm going to do 12 into 3, doesn't go. So my first number is always going to be 0. Now, the most important step now is what? What's the most important step next? Well done, Dowd. It's the decimal point. I'm not sure who NOSCOP3S is. It's the decimal point. So I need to make sure my decimal point goes in. And they need to be aligned. Well done, Ella. Well done, Abu. They need to make sure they're above each other. And then we're going to do the calculation. So we have all the zeros in that we need. And I'm going to move my 3 across. Oh, bit of an error there. So 12, we'll make that into 30. 12 goes into 30. 12, 24 goes into 30 twice. Okay. And it leaves us a remainder of 6. And then 12 goes into 60. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. Okay. So it goes in 5 times. Okay. So our 3/12 as a decimal becomes 0.25. Now you could have, if you wanted to, before you started to do this converting fractions to decimal, is simplify that fraction. Because if I was to divide 3/12 by 3, it would give me 1/4. And 1/4 is really a decimal that you should know without having to work it out. Okay, so well done, Abu, for spotting that. Right, what I want you to do now is I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, and I want you to have a think about the answer. And I want you to message me the answer on Class Dojo. So I want to know what 6/8 is as a decimal. 6/8 as a decimal. So remember, you're going to rewrite it as a calculation. You are going to put it in a bus stop, put your decimal points in, put your zeros in, and then you are going to calculate it using short division. Right. Here are some examples for you to have a go at. Now, I want you to choose. Now, these are going to help you later in the week because actually Thursday's work at home is converting fractions to decimals. So by practicing this now, Thursday's homework will be super easy in comparison. Okay. Choose 2 different columns. So chili 1 and chili 2, chili 2 and chili 3, or chili 1 and chili 3. And I want you to work them out. Okay, and send me the answers on Class Dojo. I'm going to give you a little bit of time now just to write the questions down so that you know what you're converting, and I will be back in 1 minute. Okay, so You should have written them down by now, which is absolutely great if you have. If you haven't, you can pause and rewind the video and you can have a look again. Finally, there are two questions which are word questions. These are the type of reasoning questions you would get on your tests. So again, you don't have to write these down, but this gives you a chance to not only practice it in arithmetic form, but also in reasoning form. So once this is finished, it will probably take a few hours to upload and be available for you to watch again. But I'd really, really like it if you came back, watched again, wrote these down in your books and took a photo and showed me your answers. Okay. Now, of course, I can't make you do that. But what this is about you really. This is a time where you can really take some responsibility for your own learning, which I, will tell you to do lots and lots of times this year. Thank you all again for joining in. There'll be another lesson tomorrow, okay, and another chance for you to chat away. What I would encourage you to do though is if you are friends with each other, keep in contact. It's really important that we have the social normality as much as possible where we're speaking to our friends. Now, I know that you like coming on here and you like having a chat with your friends too, and I'm absolutely fine with that. But let's make sure we do the work together as well. Okay. Have a brilliant day. Make sure you stay active. I think I'm going to do the whole school assembly next week as well, so I shall see you hopefully there. But I shall see you tomorrow. Watch the video again. Practice, 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 and when we all get back together, I'm sure we're going to be brilliant at converting fractions to decimals. Okay, I'm going to leave this on a little bit longer so you can all have a little bit of a chat. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Take care of yourself. See you later.